and a team that truly unites a nation.
This morning, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be there, chosen.
What is a super goal by Harry Gill?
1 in a million, you got to burn and shine. But you were born under a bad sign with a blue moon in your eye. And you woke up this morning, all that love had gone. Your papa never told you bye-bye.
He's the goal-scoring hero again for Australia. Japan scores through the captain Hasebe. Suzuki, he does have a hat-trick. And Australia are 6-0 in front.
Here's the team news. Australia unchanged, so Brett Emerton remains on the bench. In truth, it would have surely been difficult for Holger Osik to replace anyone after the drubbing of Uzbekistan. 4 of this starting 11 made their name in the A-League. Goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer breaks the appearance record tonight, his 88th cap, taking it past Alex Tobin, who is here to watch the man take his record. The referee is the top official in the region, Uzbekistan's Ravshan Ermatov. Asian Referee of the Year for 3 years in a row now. His assistants Rasulov Abdul Kamidulo and Rafael Ilyasov, also both of Uzbekistan. The two captains hoping to hold the trophy tonight, Lucas Neal of Australia and Makoto Hasebe of Japan. And Japan make 2 changes. Shinji Kagawa, of course, is out with injury, so Jungo Fujimoto, who's just signed for Nagoya Grampus, comes into midfield. Maya Yoshida also returns after suspension to the centre of defence, so Daiki Iwamasa drops back down to the bench. So the Asian Cup final is underway, and goals may just be at a premium tonight. The previous 10 finals have produced just 16 goals, and the team scoring first has always gone on to lift the trophy. Andy Harbour.
Good evening, Simon. What a terrific night here in Doha as Japan look to be champions of Asia for a 4th time. Australia looking for their maiden victory in this tournament. I think it's the ideal final. I think whatever happens tonight, the best 3 teams in the competition will finish 1, 2, 3.
Both teams have looked pretty relaxed in the build-up to this final. As Lucas Neal remarked, if you can't get excited and look forward to these games, then you never can. Here's Harry Kewell with an early sighter. Scored at that end of the stadium, of course, against Uzbekistan in the semi-finals. Could be a key man tonight.
Well, I think there's going to be 22 key men out there. It's really difficult to split these teams in total. Of course, everyone's talking about the technical superiority and the mobility of Japan, and that's to be acknowledged. But the difference isn't as stark as a lot of people are making out, in my opinion.
Cahill to Holman. This is a chance for Australia. Matt Mackay! Oh, and he sliced it wide.
And that attack is a good case in point. And Australia with a real spring in their heels early. They'll have enjoyed the extra day's rest compared to that which led them into the semi-final against Uzbekistan. Matt Mackay needs to fix his finishing. There's no question about that. He had a couple of great chances against Iraq. It's a common story in the A-League as well. It's really the only thing missing from his game. He's had a stunning tournament. And that would have been a stunning start for the Socceroos.
Talking of technical superiority, as you were, Andy, 51 cameras at the stadium tonight, more than the World Cup final last year, as Kewell is penalised for handball. It's being broadcast to a worldwide audience of over 100 million.
Well, football in Asia is growing. I think it'll grow faster with Australia's involvement. It'll continue to grow with Japan and South Korea making the great strides they are. Setting the bench high, making the countries, the big countries like China, chase them, Saudi Arabia. The future is Asia, as the AFC boasts. And Australia very grateful to be part of it.
Here come Japan being roared on by big numbers in the stands. They've probably got the numerical superiority in the terraces.
And just to finish off that point about the technical difference between the teams, Simon, the other stereotype which has been rolled out the last few days in preparation for this final is that Australia has a significant physical edge over Japan. Well, they may have a physical edge, but it's not going to be huge. I mean, Japan have worked really hard over the last 10, 15 years of addressing that very fact. They're no mugs. They can stand toe-to-toe as well as anyone.
Uchida, quick feet. Keisuke Honda, solid challenge from Jedinak. And now they spread it wide to the dangerous Nagatomo. He's been pinpointed by many as being one of the key players this evening. Endo floats it in. Honda's got away from his man and Schwarzer drops on the ball. Danger for Australia there.
Sorry, Simon. Keisuke Honda also appealing for a penalty. It seemed to have an Australian arm across him. This is the danger man, one of them. There's plenty, as we said before. There's Carl Valeri just getting in the way. Probably a good decision from the referee. But I'm one of those many who think Yuto Nagatomo is a key. He's had a fantastic tournament, really and truly. And if Australia can bottle up Japan's left-hand side, they'll go a long way to achieving their goal here this evening. And the other battle, the other thing to watch for this game before it really gets going is the role of Brett Holman, Simon. And his ability to nip in from the blind side and dispossess unwary opponents has been a real highlight. It has been the launching pad for many Australian counter-attacks.
Certainly did that to great effect against Uzbekistan in the semi. So here's Cahill, marginally offsides, but marginal is enough. Good decision.
Seems to be.
Another look at Keisuke Honda's header. He was off balance. Was some contact with Carl Valeri. Not enough for the spot kick to be awarded. And this is Nagatomo. Little triangle involving Endo and Honda. Space for Okazaki, but a heavy first touch allowed Jedinak to regain ground. There's a real sense of anticipation around the Khalifa Stadium. Fans have been pouring in for the last 2 or 3 hours. Game a complete sellout, as you'd expect for a major final. And I suppose even seasoned professionals, such as a lot of these players are, bound to have a few nerves before such a big game in front of such a big audience.
A lot of talk in the lead up to the game. How big this football match is for Australia in the context of its football development, and the same of Japan. And of course, the World Cup is the big prize, but the closer it got to game day, and is indeed arriving at the stadium, I'm sure it's the same for the players. The magnitude of this occasion not lost on anyone.
Lucas Meehl actually saying, Andy, that he felt this game was bigger than reaching the last 16 of the World Cup. There's Michel Platini, sat with the Crown Prince of Qatar, president of UEFA, of course, Platini. Sepp Blatter on the right of screen, president of FIFA. Maybe not for much longer if Mohammed bin Hammam has his way. Rumours he will challenge for the top job. It's these two teams challenging for Asia's top trophy at the moment as Uchida tried to tee up Fujimoto. Luke Wilkshire will put it up towards halfway, and Harry Kewell, who's had such a fantastic tournament, can't get around the outside of Kono.
That's going to be a good contest, that one. Both have hit a similar top speed in the tournament, Simon. We've been fed the statistics from the heat maps, etc., which have been appearing on people's screens for 31 previous football matches, and that data's starting to be crunched. Really interesting and very even foot race between Connor and Harry Kewell emerging.
This is Honda. Square for Endo. Back to Honda, who is regarded by many as being perhaps the best player in Asia. A few on show today who might challenge that mantle. Ryoichi Maeda pushing it into the path of Nagatomo. Recent centre, it's away by Ognanovsky and subsequently by Cahill. And then Kewell and Cahill unable to combine. Japan, the marginal favourites perhaps in this final. Back in possession. Keisuke Honda, middle 1-2 with Fujimoto. Can Schwarzer prevent the corner?
There's big trouble here. Schwarzer's out of the goal.
And I think he might have picked up a knock as well, Mark Schwarzer. Really? Just dug his studs in the turf there, the veteran keeper, as he attempted to clear that ball. Just watch this. Oof. Oh, it's the knee. Ouch.
The ball not going out, and Schwarzer writhing in pain at that point. He's still not fully recovered. And fair enough from that point on. Nagatomo looking to pierce the empty net, the empty goal of Australia. Schwarzer now back to his feet. That's a nasty one. Good desperation from the keeper. Japan settling in. 9 minutes gone. They'll work the ball patiently. They'll look to get the ball in the centre of their attacking third, try to draw Australia's defenders in, and then by definition free up the spaces out wide for the likes of Nagatomo down the left, and to a lesser extent Atsuto Uchida on the right hand side. I say to a lesser extent because he's had a much quieter tournament.
Now let's see how this knee holds up. Looks to be okay, Mark Schwarzer. Was a nasty one though. Knee really dug into the turf. Not the start Mark Schwarzer would have wanted, I'm sure, on the occasion of his 88th cap. What a great game to break the Australian record in. Now they break for Nagatomo. Neil and Valeri tidying up. Bit of a slice off the boot of Schwarzer, and then a foul by Maeda. Or rather Okazaki, my mistake.
Yeah, well, Shinji Okazaki, because of the injury to Shinji Kagawa, has moved from right to left. He's had a great tournament himself, the number 9. Very dangerous as a right winger, right midfielder. We'll see how he goes on the left-hand side. Fujimoto gets the nod to take on David Carney.
Tim Cahill just jumping a little too early, landing on Endo. Yasuhito Endo, one of the fulcrums of the Japanese midfields. Only the 4th Japanese player to win over 100 caps. It's his 106th tonight. Here he is on the ball, the 2009 Asian Player of the Year. Actually missed the 2004 final through suspension. Got sent off against Bahrain in the semi. That was the last time Japan won the trophy. Australia, of course, never before past the quarter-finals. Although this is just their 2nd appearance at the Asian Cup. Memories of great recent battles of the past, Andy, have been stirred by the build-up to this game. The World Cup 2006, the last Asian Cup, which Japan won on penalties in the quarter-finals. As Luke Wilkshire finds some space here on the right. Can he pick out Cahill or perhaps Kewell? In the event, it's neither.
There's not a lot between the two teams since that day in Kaiserslautern, which so set things going for football in Australia. Key part of a very important sequence of events from qualifying to that opening 2006 World Cup match. 3-1 that day.
Neil up towards Cahill, who's always a danger. Will it drop for Holman? It's cleared behind. Australia will have a corner.
And a good little passage of play for Australia. Timmy Cahill's aerial prowess attracting both central defenders, and Brett Holman there just trying to read the rebound.
And I'll tell you what, Andy, if Japan don't know about Tim Cahill's aerial threats, then they should do, because he scored 4 times against them in those 2 games that we're mentioning, World Cup 06, and then, of course, one of the World Cup qualifiers a couple of years back.
Indeed, and the only time Australia's lost against Japan in recent memory was on penalties 4 years ago at the Asian Cup. Very close between 2 Asian heavyweights. Australia, the new kids on the block.
Mackay's corner. Well, it's gone straight out of play, which is a major disappointment for the Socceroos. Perhaps a bit of a nervous start for Matt Mackay. Huge game for the only player in this Australian starting 11 actually playing his football in the domestic A-League. He's had a super tournament, and he's had the one really decent half chance so far of this final, unless you count Honda's at the other end. But my, how he's grown in stature. He's only small, Matt Mackay, but he's had a big tournament, Andy.
Well, I think it's a testament to the coach, who's not been afraid to bring players in who mightn't have the reputation of others. He's backed them, given them the confidence to believe in themselves. It wasn't that long ago that Matt Mackay and his ilk were perceived to be part of the problem in Australian football. Now they're looked at as a key part of the solution, which is exactly the way it should be. Holger Osik, in a very short space of time, has done a very good job. Both coaches only relatively new to their tasks. Alberto Zaccaroni of Japan as well.
Now Australia will be a threat at set pieces, no question about that. Ognenovski and Neil have ventured forwards. Dealt with by Maeda, and now the counter is on for Japan. Shinji Okazaki. Honda and Fujimoto await in the box, but he's just crowded out eventually by Ognenovski and Wilkshire, at least temporarily. Oh, that was the right idea by Yasuhito Endo. Just spotted a bit of space for Shinji Okazaki.
And that's what Australia's all about. It's current guys. As soon as they were able to relieve pressure with that pass from Endo, just going through to Schwarzer. Schwarzer immediately looking, whilst Japan had committed players forward to get the ball to the vacant parts of the field. It was Harry Kuehl who was outnumbered, but he's just a little bit of a sign of where Australia's at the moment. A warning to Japan that if they're going to push forward, they've got to watch their defence as well.
Clever back heel by Mackay, and it goes, and Valeri and Cahill were going for it, and neither was able to get the touch. But super combination play between Mackay and Holman on the right set this chance up for Australia.
Very good, and as dangerous as Japan's left side has been in attack, Australia have had some good space down that part of the field already.
Well, Miller Jedinak is going to be grateful to his central midfield partner there, Carl Valeri, even though he's picked up a yellow card for the late challenge, because it was Jedinak's mistake from the throw-in that allowed Japan to launch that little mini break there. So the first yellow card of the final goes to Carl Valeri, probably rightly so.
Yeah, clear foul. The referee right to award the yellow card. It does make it a very early one for Carl Valeri, just 16 minutes gone. He's been excellent for the Socceroos as well. Jason Colina limping off at half-time in the match against South Korea. Valeri and Jedinak have done a mighty job to make sure that the absence of Colina is lessened.
Now we're fully aware of the threat Japan posed from set pieces. Honda and Endo are both specialists of the art. This is a long way out, though. Will this be Keisuke Honda's stock in trade, the Cristiano Ronaldo-type free kick, which bends and swerves? I think that's what he was attempting to do, but the touch off the wall made it rather easier for Mark Schwarzer.
Well, I think he's more dangerous from that sort of range, the deflection notwithstanding. The way he does like to thrash the ball, so Keisuke Honda. Set pieces is part of the difficulty he poses for Australia, but it's the way he drifts off that front line in front of Hasebe and Endo, the two anchoring midfielders. He's a real danger man. Honda, beautiful passer of the ball. He and Honda in sync, he and Endo in sync rather, spells danger for the green and gold.
Carney gets a bit lucky. Good ball in. Kuehl couldn't quite get enough on it. Wilkshire will retrieve. Holman in support. And Okazaki covering well for Nagatomo. Jedinak. Back it goes to captain Lucas Neal. 0-0 in the Asian Cup final in Doha. Sasha Ognanovsky continuing his meteoric rise. And they looked for Harry Kuehl early. It's Kono kept pace with the Galatasaray striker. Happy to put it behind.
Kuehl appreciates the work. It's nice from Mile Jedinak. Right in behind Kono, who himself has had a wonderful tournament. And Harry Kuehl positioned himself beautifully, putting the pressure on his marker, who heads the ball for a corner. To be taken this time by David Carney, not Matt Mackay.
But again, it will be the outswinger with the left boots. Cahill leads. It's there, is it for Australia? No, it's clear, just underneath the crossbar. We said Australia are going to pose a danger from these set pieces. Carney swings it in again. Cahill leaps. Kuehl on the turn. Can't make contact. And just for a moment, I thought it was going to dip over Kawashima. But Australia denied as Japan scrambled really well.
Well, Timmy Cahill again, making his presence felt. Kawashima just scrambling and swatting somewhat, effectively so in the end. Harry Kuehl with a deflection, not quite enough of a deflection. A nervous moment for Japan.
Mackay picking up the scraps for Australia. Now Cahill. David Carney wasn't advanced enough on the left for him to choose that option, so instead it's Neal. Cahill, here's a chance for Harry Kuehl, and he's hit the side netting. Another opportunity goes begging for the green and gold.
And the more you call it like that, Simon, the more danger it's going to be for Australia, because the chances aren't going to keep coming. Kuehl again finding himself in front of goal. The ball taking him into a very, very narrow angle onto his less favoured right foot. He makes good contact. But the coverage probably sufficient in the end. Another good setup from Tim Cahill. Another good chance for Australia.
Now Uchida to Fujimoto. Harry Kuehl with 3 goals at this tournament. Not so far tonight. They've fashioned some good chances, Australia. Carney down the line, Cahill. Commits the foul. Well, possession relatively even. Australia just on top.
It's not a statistic I was expecting after half an hour, I'm not ashamed to say. Expecting Japan to dominate the ball and to do so for large periods in Australia's half, but Australia doing a very good job at forcing Japan into their own half and then squeezing the space behind once that's done.
This is Kono, one of the elder statesmen in this Japanese outfit. Average age of the squad is around 25. Australia, by contrast, probably one of the oldest teams at the tournament. Sebe. Uchida. Now Endo, looking to probe the Australian defence, and there's a bit of room here for Nagatomo. Draws Wilkshire out wide. Cuts inside for Honda. Now Endo. And back again. There's no real penetration as yet for Japan. Maybe now from Maeda. Mackay holds him up. Uchida. Well, he just gave it gift wrap, really, to David Carney. No real trouble for Australia.
Well, that was superb collective defending from Australia. The decisions were good from individuals. The communication, excellent. Japan, no way through. In the end, characteristic error from fine player. Suto Uchida. Just outsmarting himself there.
Here's a fine player, Suto Uchida. One of quite a few Japanese players who plies his trade in the German Bundesliga with Schalke. Very much the Japanese breeding grounds in the modern day. Okazaki linking with Nagatomo. Good two-footed player, Nagatomo, even though he plays on the left. Good strength by Neil. He's had a terrific tournament, the Australian captain. Jedinak looking for Kuehl. Foot was high by Harry Kuehl.
Just backing in as well there. That might have been the first thing the assistant referee saw. Just on that proliferation of Japanese players moving into the Bundesliga, Simon, it is the JFA's stated aim to have the highest representation of Asian players in the leagues of Western Europe. They realise they need that component for their national team to achieve its ultimate goal, which is to win a World Cup.
Well, they're going about it pretty well. 10 of this squad's play in Europe. Of course, by contrast, 16 of Australia's play on that old continent. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they are playing off for the silverware here today. It's not the entire reason, of course. J-League is pretty strong. The A-League coming up on the rails too. That's a lovely ball from Honda. Here's a chance for Japan. And Maeda has screwed his shot wide of the target, but what a ball through from Keisuke Honda.
Beautiful. And it's roles reversed. It's Endo on the end of it who sets up Maeda. But it's the Endo and Honda duet that Australia have to watch. Honda made a similar pass to Nagatomo, who set up Maeda for the equalising goal in the semi-final against South Korea. He's got a beautiful eye for the killer pass, and he's got the touch to go with it. After surviving Australia's repeated efforts on goal, it's the Socceroos who breathe easy. After a great chance for Ryoichi Maeda.
Man of the match in the semi-final was Keisuke Honda. He, like many of the Japanese players, have really grown into this tournament. They started off very slowly, didn't they, Andy? They were very lucky to avoid defeat on match day 1 of the group stage against Jordan. Gradually, slowly but surely, they've found their feet and their rhythm.
Well, they had 2 very difficult group matches to get things underway. The player sent off Eiji Kawashima in goal, actually, in the match against Syria.
Chested down beautifully by Cahill, but just behind Brett Holman. Unfortunate for Australia.
And it was really only the 3rd group game against the Saudis where they had an easy 90 minutes, knocked away 5 goals. Otherwise, they've had to fight tooth and nail for everything, literally everything.
Sign of a good side, though, that doesn't lose, even under the severest of pressures.
Indeed. There's no question about that. They're strong mentally, good physically, artistic technically. Deserved finalists.
Clear foul by Mackay. Well, he wants to have a word with Brett Holman here, the referee. He's issued a yellow card.
Second Aussie to go in the book.
Well, unless my eyes were deceiving me, that was Matt Mackay who committed that foul.
I may have said something. I'm not going to question your eyesight, though, Simon.
Plenty have. Uchida. Well cut out that by Matt Mackay because Honda was free and behind him. Shade over 5 minutes to go before the break. It has been a fascinating arm wrestle between Asia's two finest teams. This is Carney. Kuehl again plays the hold-up role superbly. Holman. Cahill in space. Japan have got numbers back now. Mackay, Carney arriving on the overlap. Can he get the delivery right? Looks to be a bit close to the keeper, and well, he let it go. Kawashima and Cahill, although he was arriving like an express train, was a little bit late at the platform.
Well, I tell you what, Eiji Kawashima did back himself, and he's let this go. And as he's looked, he's, oh my goodness, it's Tim Cahill. And he's just run out of real estate as Cahill. There's a good attack from Australia. Nice overlap down the left-hand side. Matt Mackay having another good performance. David Carney with the instinct to get forward. It's an instinct that's been rekindled by Holger Rosick. Australian players now with the imprimatur of their coach to leave their defensive position and support the attack. It's why Australia has made the final. And it's why they've got a good chance, still with 41 minutes gone, of winning the final.
Good to see a fair few Australians in the crowd. Some of them have jumped on a plane on a whim, just here for the weekend, to see whether their team can lift the trophy. They've got some defending to do here. Jungo Fujimoto on the ball. Now Hasebe. Endo. Well, that's well anticipated by Ognenovski. Really have looked pretty solid, Neil and Ognenovski. One of the reasons why Socceroos have conceded just one goal at this tournament thus far.
Yeah, it's excellent defending again, and a quick release to Harry Kuehl, who backed himself to beat Maya Yoshida. Again, with some open territory, it is the case, based on what's happened in the preceding matches, that Harry Kuehl will beat Maya Yoshida in a foot race. Just the angle and the sideline work to the Japanese defenders' benefit there.
Uchida down the line. Good touch from Hasebe. Now Fujimoto. Valeri was quick back to cover and Carney stepped across. Japan enjoying a decent period of possession here, though, as we approach half-time. Okazaki, 1-2 with Honda. Now Nagatomo. Again, they try and work those little triangles. Nagatomo's in behind. And Maeda couldn't get there ahead of Ognenovski, who again is positioned perfectly. Australia under a bit of pressure here, and that's alleviated by Harry Kuehl, defending from the fronts. Now is the counter-attack on. Kuehl. Good tackle by Yoshida. Fujimoto. Nobody there for Japan. Neil. Into the channel, looking for the run of Holman, who'll get there ahead of Nagatomo. He's kept it in play just. Is that a foul? Linesman didn't flag. Holman carries on, support from Wiltshire. Left-footed ball in, Matt Mackay goes for it, and it drifts harmlessly away and behind for a goal kick.
Well, the manner in which Matt Mackay drifted into the attacking zone then to link up with Harry Kuehl, Tim Cahill, make that third player a real advantage. He was outstanding at this in the semi-final. Makoto Hasebe had to track him, drop into the defence line to run with the Australian midfielder. Good piece of intuitive attacking play from the captain of Brisbane Roar. And another good delivery from Luke Wilshere, back to his best, the Australia number 8.
Such a vital piece of that attacking armoury, isn't he, for Australia, Luke Wilshere? And he gets his delivery spot on. Australia can cause problems, as Japan can too, of course, through Keisuke Honda. And again, just not quite the right connection. It'll drop here for Okazaki, though. And now Fujimoto. Square for Honda. Now Yasuhito Endo. Into injury time at the end of the first half. Just the 1 minute they'll be. Ball stayed in play, just about. This is Yoshida. Robust challenge there by Holman. Kuehl sniffing for scraps. Kono gets it back to his goalkeeper. And this might just be about the final action of an intriguing first half, Andy Harper.
Yeah, it's been nip and tuck, hasn't it? Japan have had their moments. Australia have had the better chances, or certainly more chances. Be disappointed they haven't capitalised.
So Ravshan Ermatov blows for half-time. And we're no closer to knowing who will be the Asian Cup winner for 2011. At the break in Doha, it's Australia 0, Japan 0. The Asian Cup trophy, the prize for the winners, and a place in the 2013 Confederations Cup as well, of course. Who will it be? Australia or Japan? So Australia get the ball back rolling again, kicking from left to right in this second period. Lucas Neal immediately launching a long bomb, which is knocked down well by Cahill. Harry Kuehl sidesteps the defender, and then across came Hasebe, the captain, really playing a captain's role. What a smart piece of work that was initially by Tim Cahill, and then subsequently Harry Kuehl. Beautiful combination.
Well, a good plan from Australia early. And now they've got to get their wits about them, quick, smart and defend, because Japan are building.
Uchida, away by Ognenovski. Miscontrol by Hasebe. Wilkshire out of harm's way. And now Holman. Cahill. Jedinak. Was he taken late there by Hasebe? He was. Well, that was clearly a foul by Hasebe, but earlier on, credit to the Japanese skipper. He saw that his team was in serious trouble, and he got back and made a brilliant block to deny Harry Kuehl.
He's had an excellent tournament, Hasebe. Harry Kuehl had stopped and propped and turned nicely, and the goal was beckoning until Makoto Hasebe slid in. It was a brilliant piece of anticipation.
David Carney to chip this one in, hang it up for Cahill. Ognenovski will retrieve. Wilkshire did well to get a cross in there from an awkward angle. Neal picks out Holman. Ognenovski along the line for Mackay again. They look this time for Harry Kuehl, who nods it down, looking for Cahill. Wilkshire, he'll try again. Goes Tim Cahill, but he was leaning on the defender. Free kick.
The frustration for Tim Cahill there, I think, shared by a lot of people who've played centre forward, is that with him penalised for getting the good position and getting it first, it was Connor who was backing into him. Be a good case for play on there. No surprise that the decision went with the defender. It usually does in those situations.
Turned forward by Valeri again. Kuehl and Cahill. Interchange. Holman. Wilkshire arriving in support now. It's an awkward one for the goalkeeper. Should come over the line. Australia are claiming that it did. It certainly struck the woodwork. But the linesman was perfectly positioned. The referee, I think, had a glance towards the touchline, but there was no signal that the ball had crossed the line. Another one of those contentious moments where nobody was quite sure whether it was a goal or not.
I'll tell you what, there was a very nervous man with his finger on the pyrotechnics button at that point, because that was a close call. Mine's initial reaction was no goal, and it was no goal. It just was bouncing, begging to be punched home by someone in green and gold. There was a cross gone wrong, in truth, from Luke Wilshere. I think Harry Kewell's appealing for a handball. I don't think he could have been appealing at that point for the ball crossing the line, which it quite clearly didn't. But a very good start to the second half by Australia. Very positive, looking to get the ball forward early. Wilshere again picking up from where he left off in that first half, with another raid down the right-hand side. We're just 4 minutes in, he's already made 2 raids down Australia's right flank.
Well, Eiji Kawashima looked like a tennis player who was desperately striving to make a lob there, didn't he? Unlike has happened sometimes in tennis, the ball did not go into the net.
Very interesting. Alberto Zaccaroni has Iwamasa stripped on the sideline for Japan.
He's going to have to wait a moment. Clearly offside, though. Jungo Fujimoto.
Well, the aerial threat from Australia is proving too much. So it's Fujimoto to come off. Iwamasa on. There will be a rearrangement. Iwamasa, I would imagine, will go into the centre of defence.
Another look at that moment. A mishit cross, really, from Luke Wilkshire. The Australian bench were convinced. Why wouldn't they be? Some of the Aussie fans too. Well, maybe not quite so sure. So Daiki Iwamasa on for his 8th cap, the defender from
He hasn't come on yet,
Kashima
Simon.
Antlers.
He hasn't come on yet. There's been some hold-up for some reason. He
My
hasn't
apologies.
put his tracksuit back on yet.
Well, he certainly wants to come on. Maybe Fujimoto doesn't want to come off.
I think they've just had a quick word with Yasuki Kono as well. He's another player who's struggling for Japan. This is a fascinating little twist, early stages, second half.
Meantime, free kick for Australia, delivered by Wilkshire. Holman just dropped off and found some space. He tries for goal, but he's got it all wrong. I think that was a shot from Holman. Unless you're going to tell me differently, Andy.
No, certainly not. But it's been one of those halves for Brett, one of those games for Brett Holman. Again, he's taken up a beautiful position and he received the ball nicely, invited himself on towards Japan's goal, but the shot was poor. And so many good things in the first half, but then some cheap turnovers to take the gloss off his performance and give Japan an advantage. It's been a strange game for Holman so far, yet still he looms as a real danger man for Australia.
And still the question mark around this substitution, is it going to happen or not? There's all sorts of debate going on between bench and players. And eventually, Iwamasa has gone and sat back down. Very strange. Maybe they thought there was an injury. This time on the half volley, Cahill leaps. Might drop here for Kuehl. And he's blazed it over the top. He's had a few half chances today, Harry Kuehl.
But this is a procession of headers won by Tim Cahill. It's no wonder Alberto Zaccaroni is wearing the soles of his shoes out in that technical area.
Holger Osik having his head in his hands.
Another one bites the dust for the Aussies. Wouldn't count that as a great chance. Nevertheless, it was good possession inside, virtually Japan's 6-yard box. And that is remarkably rare to see Yasuhito Endo do something like he's just done.
Mackay in field for Valeri. Now back with Carney. And delivered from that deep angle. Now was there a body check there from Kono? Cahill certainly thought so.
Well, there was a penalty awarded in the semi-final, Japan-Korea, for something similar. Kono has blocked the run. The point of deliberation for the referee is, where was the ball? Was it within playing distance? There's no doubt he's obstructed the run of Tim Cahill. The referee didn't see it as an illegal block. Tim Cahill begs to differ.
So the stalemate remains. Australia 0, Japan 0. Extra time and penalties, of course, are a possibility if we stay the same. Well, in fact, more than a possibility. It's a damn right certainty. Yoshida.
Good pressure on Mile Jedinak, excellent pressure. He just waited, allowed Honda the touch and then squeezed him, anticipating the second. No free kick, despite the pleas of Keisuke Honda. Here comes Daiki Iwamasa. He's with the fourth official again. Really get some game time now.
Kuehl. Mackay got that one wrong. Jedinak and Honda again going toe-to-toe. This time there will be a foul. Now Japan do want to make the change.
So it's the same change. Fujimoto to come off. He's left the field on the far side. Iwamasa now on. His job will be to bottle up Tim Cahill, I'd imagine. No one's been able to do that so far. So Kono's come on to left fullback. Nagatomo has gone into the Shinji Kagawa position with Okazaki into the centre. But that will change Okazaki and Honda, I'd imagine. Nagatomo now playing that left attacking midfield role.
Is that a good switch?
That's going to spice things up a bit. Yeah, well, he doesn't now have to rely so much on defending or worry about defending and the work Luke Wilkshire's doing up there. He'll still have to keep a vigil on Luke Wilkshire. He's got a bit more freedom now to hog that touchline and attack Australia. And the real motivation for the substitution is the Harry Kuehl, Tim Cahill aerial prowess. Yoshida and Kono just have not been able to come to terms with it. Alberto Zaccaroni suggesting that sooner rather than later something's going to fall for one of these Australian support players.
And to touch off Carl Valeri.
But that change for Japan also means another area of opportunity for Australia. Kono, a midfielder, switch to central defence. See how he goes at left fullback.
This is Nagatomo. His more advanced role. Back for Kono. Endo. Honda.
Good
And that's
steal.
well robbed by Mile Jedinak. Kuehl. Mackay bursting through the midfield. Wilkshire is gaining ground on the right. Four arriving into the penalty box for Australia. Deep it goes, looking for Jedinak. And that's well fielded by Eiji Kawashima. But a really swift counter-attack by Australia.
And just have a look at this as a discussion point, Simon. It's Mile Jedinak challenging the cross, but it was Mile Jedinak who made the steal in centre field. And this is advantage Australia. You know, it's understated just quite how good these guys are athletically, aerobically. Mackay, Holman, Jedinak, Valeri. Certainly Valeri's topping the charts for the number of repeated sprints. It's enormous capacity. It's enormous output. And that was underlined by that work from Mile Jedinak, a really smart piece of theft to get rid of Keisuke Honda, and then he continued his run to challenge for the cross. It was great play. It's a good building block for Australia.
Just on Carl Valeri, his average running stats throughout the entire tournament puts him in the top 10 at this Asian Cup of all players. The average is, I think, over 11 kilometres a game.
And I guess, you know, whilst we're crunching the numbers, the more telling stat, he's ranked 2 in this Asian Cup for the average number of sprints per match. And that's our central midfielder, underlining the amount of work he does, covering, winning tackles, passing and supporting. It's brilliant stuff. Really brilliant effort from Carl Valeri. He's got plenty of mates who've been doing the work. Indeed, to some extent, the statistics are kiboshing the notion that Japan are faster and more mobile. The fastest 3 players in the Asian Cup out of these 2 teams so far are all Australians. Robbie Cruz, Scott McDonald, Brett Holman. So the numbers are lining up for Australia. The second half has been kind to the Socceroos. They've looked dangerous.
And now here come Japan. Through Uchida. Maeda climbs for it. There's a foul in there by the Japanese striker. And the roar will stay in the throats of the Japanese supporters, at least for a little while longer.
Well, the game really is swinging beautifully. There's Jedinak again, right in the lap of his skipper in the heart of Australia's defence, dropping down from that midfield position. And it's a good decision from the ref, Maeda being overly boisterous.
But his work from box to box, Andy, Mile Jedinak has been outstanding. Alberto Zaccaroni controlling the technical zone. Such tension inside the Khalifa Stadium. Jedinak, it's too far for Matt Mackay. Goal kick. Holger Osik urging a little bit more efforts. You sense we're perhaps at a key moment of the football game. 20 minutes to go. Australia 0, Japan 0. Which side will blink first? Some of these super slow-mo pictures, absolutely terrific. Hope you're enjoying them at home. Worldwide audience of over 100 million. Mexican wave going around the Khalifa Stadium. Kuehl unable to release Mackay.
Mackay just having a word to Shinji Okazaki for the manner in which he collapsed. The referee didn't appreciate it either.
Good flick on by Okazaki, but Okmanovsky has kept a tight rein for the main part on Ryuichi Maeda. It's over Cahill, but Kuehl is in behind. Is this the moment for Australia? Harry Kuehl! And Kawashima makes a terrific save to keep the score sheet blank. Well, he could have had a hat-trick tonight, Harry Kuehl.
And that was the clearest of his chances. He rode this beautifully. Fantastic touch to get rid of Iwamasa. And the keeper held his feet, then used his feet. Outstanding work, Eiji Kawashima. But Australia should have broken the deadlock at that point.
Emerton. He's a bit late with that lunge on Nagatomo. Well, what a chance for Harry Kewell. Will Australia rue those missed opportunities? Here's Nagatomo sliding it in. And again, Ognenovski, who's had a very steady game, gets there ahead of Maeda. And Emerton is away down the right. Japan throw in, though. Maybe a foul throw in. Well, Holger Osik must have thought that this was the moment, but that outstretched boot from Eiji Kawashima denying Harry Kewell. Well, both teams now, Andy, have had a really good sight of goal. Okazaki at one end, Kewell at the other.
Well, I thought Okazaki's was the best chance we'd seen. It was certainly the best crafted opportunity with a good finishing chance. But that Harry Kewell moment has surpassed that. It was the chance of the match. Think back to quarter-final night against Iraq. That left foot of Harry Kewell's lobbed the goalkeeper and then the crossbar. Most people expected the reliable left foot of Harry Kewell to do the business. Fast forward to final night. Harry Kewell, different circumstances, different situation on the field, but a similar scenario, 1v1 with the goalkeeper. And again, most people who've been watching Kewell for this last 15 years of football would have put most things they had on that left foot delivery. Outsmarted by Eiji Kawashima. Excellent piece of work by Japan's goalkeeper.
He's had a few question marks placed against him, hasn't he, at this tournament, Kawashima, but certainly answered his critics there. That's well robbed by Mackay. Now Cahill hits the path of Harry Kewell, and he just couldn't control it. It was coming at him at a fair old whack, in fairness, and Iwamasa concedes the corner.
I tell you, the change from Zaccaroni, Iwamasa, look how far forward he'd pushed, and it's too early to go from a central defender when your team's in possession. There's a quick changeover, he's out of position. And just the pass from Australia not sticking. Iwamasa played out of the game. Another good chance for Australia. The corner will have to do.
Hey, on that! Which Luke Wilkshire is preparing to take. Yeah! Ognenovski leaps, it's away, on the volley by Emerton. Always rising.
They're worth a go, though, from Brett Emerton. If he can manage to keep the ball down, which he can't, evidently, but if he could have kept the ball down, plenty of bodies to negotiate a ricochet. Kawashima's view would have been blocked.
There he is, Carl Valeri, again. Has pretty much covered every blade of grass on behalf of the green and gold this evening. Eiji Kawashima, a hero in Japan, no doubt, at this very moment. Thousands watching in the cities of Japan, and I know there are live sites set up right around Australia as well. All the major towns and cities, the wee small hours down under, glued to a riveting Asian Cup final. Maeda. That'll be a corner for Japan.
One thing that substitution does give for Japan, however, is the chance for Shinji Okazaki to go back out on the right side and square up against David Carney. That chance denied him because of the way Zaccaroni picked the first 11 this evening. With Fujimoto relegated to the subs bench again, Okazaki back on the right, and they're looking far more potent down that part of the field.
We're into the final quarter of an hour at the Khalifa Stadium. Japan have a corner, which Keisuke Honda will take. They go for the short routine. Hasebe. Well, it was nicely teed up. Perhaps a training ground move there. That's the execution way off by the Japanese skipper.
Indeed, enough pressure put on by Brett Emerton, and a quick goal kick taken now by Mark Schwarzer. Wonderful flow. When we consider it's a final being played, how often, Simon, how many finals have we watched where it turns into a stalemate, a game of chess? People get too nervous, so they don't take any chances. Well, both teams here having a real crack.
Kewell has released Brett Emerton. Cahill waits in the centre, and he just can't get enough contact. And again, Kawashima snaffles the ball.
Australia just running out of bodies on this moment. Beautiful pass, Harry Kewell. Case K Honda-esque. And it's 4 versus 1. Cahill into the near post. Entitled to go for the rebound. There's nothing more in it.
Hasebe slides it out wide right. Richard has delivery, that's Schwartz's. Hasn't been called upon too often this evening, Mark Schwarzer.
It's an easy one for Schwarzer to clean up. It's not a good cross from Mitsuto Uchida. But again, it's the right-hand side of Japan, which is starting to fire.
Now flags raised near touchline, presumably for offside against Cahill, or maybe a foul. And that pass just bisecting the two Japanese players. And of course, did go to extra time. Their semi-final. Perhaps slightly more tired legs than Australia, who had a much easier hit-outs here at the Khalifa Stadium against Uzbekistan in their semi. We're talking about fine margins. And this is Neil. Looking for Harry Kewell. One drop for Cahill, who then was a little late on Iwamasa. Free kick. Well, I think it was just actually his forward momentum that took him into Tim Cahill. But
yeah, looks a free kick, but nothing more. Good game this evening so far, the referee. You expect as much, the number one in Asia.
Holger Osik just making a point to Brett Emerton. Maybe a slight tactical tweak. Neil, under pressure from Nagatomo. Play on, even though there's a push on Jedinak there. Good advantage played by Ravshan Ilmatov. Neil. Kewell. That's what Harry Kewell has done so well at this tournament. When the ball comes to him, even in tight spaces, it sticks. Mackay, too deep for Cahill. Ten minutes to go. Extra time starting to loom large. Two very evenly matched sides. And both have had their opportunities. Hasebe. Honda. Gets away from Ognanovski. Lovely ball by Honda. Maeda forced a little wide though. Held up by Neil. And cleared by Wilkshire. But again, the vision of Keisuke Honda is a joy to watch at times.
Something else. It's surgical precision. Look at that. He's threaded the needle with that pass. And Australia regroup. Kept their composure well. Could have turned out much nastier than it did for the Socceroos.
Endo will switch it. Iwamasa. Uchida, nowhere to go. Back some 60 metres to his goalkeeper. Endo. Kono to Nagatomo. Honda. Clip of the ankles of Miller Jedinak. Just overran it there, Keisuke Honda. And now it's with Brett Emerton for Australia. And they look for Cahill, that should be the goalkeepers, and is.
Yeah, I thought it was probably worth Brett Emerton carrying the ball down the flank and putting Kono under some pressure as left fullback, transplanted, left fullback.
Now Maeda, man over on the right is Uchida. 3 away for the delivery. Carney gives away the corner kick.
Defended David Carney.
Australia anxious to keep their focus. They're probably fully aware that there's only 7 minutes to go. A goal here could be fatal. Ooh, Brett Emerton got that a bit wrong, didn't he? But no harm done.
Looked like he was about to do the work.
He just sort of flopped on it.
Ball must have dipped on him. It's a second effort coming for Japan.
Again for the boot of Yasuhito Endo. Valeri watched it all the way. More importantly, watched Okazaki all the way. Tracked the run superbly. Now a free kick. The holding on Kuehl. Wilkshire. Cahill arriving. It's a good header won by Uchida. Kai happy to accept the throw-in. Carney. Well, it's becoming a bit of a predictable tactic by Australia. Just hang it up and hope for Cahill or Kuehl to get on the end of it.
Well, Japan have stabilised. Certainly helping their cause because they were rocking. And Australia just need to get a little bit more variety back into their attack. I thought it was one of the real strong points of the first half for the Socceroos. That last possession from Brett Emerton I thought was instructive. And I think as much as anything, keeping the ball in a dribbling situation down the flank at least sucks Japan's players back into their own territory. Australia have to get control of more of the football.
Well, Kuehl's done it well for them there. Square by Valeri to Mackay. Cahill will work it out to the left and David Carney. But again, they look for that diagonal delivery from deep. Cahill was offside, so he walks back. Well, I don't think Brett Emerton could have been offside. Or could he? Well, maybe the linesman thought he was interfering with play, Cahill.
Has to have been the decision.
No, he's
he
right.
was offside.
Fair play.
It's not against Tim Cahill, it is against Brett Emerton.
Keep your focus, says Alberto Zaccaroni. Only the 4th offside decision of the match. Ognanovski's gone down with a knock. That's a problem for Australia because Maeda is going through the middle here. Neil can't hold him up. Still Maeda. Ognanovski's back on his feet now. And Carney makes the block with the shins. Well, sometimes those fine margins can decide football games. Ognanovski injured and disorientated. Now Harry Kuehl, can he get there ahead of the goalkeeper? and yet again he is denied by Kawashima.
Well, he could. And it was excellent anticipation from Harry Kill. But just that moment from Connor as a left fullback, it's amazing how your mind becomes dishevelled because you move into a foreign position. And playing as a midfielder, as a central defender, I don't reckon Connor would have made that error from which Harry Kill looked to profit. I think Japan's left fullback position, Australia down their right, is emerging as a real opportunity for the Socceroos. Again, the goalkeeper, quick and committed.
Three minutes to go. How's your nerves at home? Harry Kewell. Wilkshire. Sasha Ognenovsky. Flicked on by Emerton. Intelligently too. Gets a return ball from Cahill. Emerton just couldn't gather the ball in his stride, and Yoshida, time to recover, puts it behind.
Of course, the advantage of the directness of Australia's play is that when it drops for them, Japan have barely any time to react.
Two minutes to go. Wilkshire has the corner for the Socceroos. No foul in there. Even though Cahill protests. Well, maybe there was a slight body check. Here comes the throw-in. It's hoisted up towards Emerton. Carney! Ball takes a deflection, and it's behind for a corner. Well done, Atsuto Uchida for Japan. But it's sat so invitingly for David Carney. And that was heading goalwards.
I think it was Makoto Hasebe was the captain again in his team's moment of need. That sat beautifully for Carney. Well set up by Brett Emerton after Sasha Ognenovsky had the wherewithal to hook the ball back into the danger zone. Japan rocking just slightly.
Carney to deliver from the other side. Cahill leaps. Out it comes here for Emerton. Now Valeri. Wilkshire. Real up and under. Cahill jumps, and again it'll be an Australian throw-in. Good pressure by the Socceroos in the closing moments of this Asian Cup final. Can they find the spark that would surely win this Asian Cup at this late stage? Or will we head into extra time and then maybe even penalties? 20 seconds of normal time to go. Japan pinned back. Wilkshire. Mackay. Carney had that glorious chance some seconds ago. Hung up by Jedinak. Kewell can't win the aerial battle. And now a free kick for Japan, and the pressure on them is alleviated. 2 minutes of added time to be played. How's your nerves, Andy Harper?
Oh, they're holding up. I was more nervous before kick-off, actually. It's been a great game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We're going to have to sit through an extra time period, it seems. But both teams have really asked some serious questions of each other. Japan haven't been allowed to play the game consistently that they've wanted to play, and that's credit Australia for that. But Australia haven't been able to turn it into their own football match either.
Is there one last chance here for the Samurai Blue? No, says David Carney.
And they have been running into their own cul-de-sacs of late, Simon. You called it well.
Valeri. Mackay. Breaks here, though, for Nagatomo.
Their attack in the closing stages of the 90 minutes has lost the variety it had up until that point. And Japan, they've buckled and they've been under pressure, but they've stood tall. And still, it's just that outstanding chance for Harry Kewell. It remains a couple of scrambled efforts otherwise. The other end of the field, Shinji Okazaki with Japan's best chance with that header just wide for Nagatomo cross.
Now Maeda, 20 seconds to go. They floated up looking for Okazaki, and Lucas Neal was there winning a very important header. Out it comes though for Keisuke Honda, could be the last chance of the game. Schwarzer gets a good fist to the ball. Out it comes for Endo. The 2 minutes of added time are up now. And Ravshan Ermatov blows for full time. We're going to have an extra half an hour in the Asian Cup final. They can't be separated after 90 minutes. It's Australia 0, Japan 0. And we're heading into extra time in Doha.
Australia with the kickoff. They put Japan under immediate pressure start of the second half when they had a kickoff. Let's see if they do the same. To Lucas Neal for the bomb into the box.
Well, the ball is with Lucas Neal. Let's see what he does. Goes down the line instead, and Emerton was on his heels. Honda picks it up in midfield. Endo forward down the line, but a little too heavy for Nagatomo. Pushed forward into a much more advanced role since the arrival of Daiki Iwamasa. Kono shifting over to left fullback. Yoshida wins that one. Jedinak helps it back, and Ognanovski beckons Schwarzer to come and gather. Emerton's header. Kewell. Emerton not quite on the same wavelength. Breaks kindly for the Blackburn Rovers flyer though, and he'll deliver it towards Cahill. Iwamasa there, picked up by Kewell. Now Valeri, looking for an option wide left, and that's David Carney. It's an awkward one for the Japanese defence, and they still haven't quite dealt with it. And eventually it's Kono who puts it behind, but it took them 3 or 4 goes to get that out of harm's way, Andy Harper.
Amazing panicking from Japan. It's a beautiful cross from David Carney. He's got a very, very sweet left foot. And he called it into being there. Interesting start for Australia. Very interesting start to the second half, or the first half of extra time.
Wilkshire's delivery. Looked as though for a second it was going to drop for Neal. Will bounce here for Carney. Little drop of the shoulder, and it goes. Well, they're not dealing with those crosses very well, Japan, but they've survived.
Look how they break now. Keisuke Honda over halfway. He'll be the intended recipient. Lucas Neal, expert work.
And then he's stripped by Uchida.
So what's caught the eye at the start of extra time, Simon, is twice now when Australia have secured possession, they've looked to go down the right flank against Yasuyuki Kono, the transplanted left fullback. And I wonder if Holger Osip is going to ask his team to pressurise that part of the field. It did seem as though that might be an advantage that was looming. Their first 2 possessions in extra time. They've looked to get deep down the right, their right-hand side, Australia. Uchida just winded.
Flesh wound for Uchida. He's back on his feet. And Australia back in possession through Sasha Ognanovski here. Jedinak trying to cushion it into the path of Cahill. Hasebe instead for Japan. Okazaki. He and Maeda not quite on the same wavelength. Endo's touch. Hasebe, that's a good ball. Now Nagatomo with a chance perhaps to run at Wilkshire. And then he checks onto the right boots. Kono. Endo. Nagatomo try and get beyond Wilkshire again, which he's been unable to do for most of this game. Maeda. Again, the route to goal just blocked off at the first opportunity by Australia. Still Japan have it though. Kono.
Well, it's a very impressive wall built by Holger Osik. Really, really impressive. They've defended with such coordination. They've really put Japan back on their heels. They normally attack with such elan, the Samurai Blue, but they're having to second-guess their options because every time they get their head up, there's another Australian closing them down. And when they switch the play, it's like a swarm of yellow shirts switching the play with the Japan attack. Part of the game has been outstanding for Australia.
Five minutes played, first period of extra time. Still Australia 0, Japan 0. Kono looking for the run of Maeda, but it's not the sort of ball you want played when you're into extra time, is it really? And you've run your socks off. The Japanese fans, always colourful, always noisy, always enjoying themselves. Carney and Mackay between them, getting the throw in for Socceroos. Perhaps understandable that it was going to be so tight between these two. They've met on 18 previous occasions. Australia just about to have the edge with 7 wins. 6 draws as Emerton charges towards the ball, but Kawashima has been very safe and secure so far tonight.
That's a very tasty option from Mile Jedinak. Just the stab outside of the foot pass. Kawashima was up to it. Space opening up now for Keisuke Honda.
Nagatomo, but across comes Wilkshire. That's a super tackle.
He's been outstanding tonight. Hasn't had a great tournament till this point, but he's back to his very best, Luke Wilkshire, as his team needs him to be.
And of course, back in tandem with his regular right flank partner, Brett Emerton. Such a feature of Australian sides in recent seasons. Looks as though Japan, Andy, are contemplating a change. Tadanaki Lee, the striker with Korean heritage, is stripped and ready. Meantime, this is Uchida. Endo. Sebe's ball. Uchida. Off the shins of Carney. Corner for Japan. Here's the change.
Ryuichi Maeda to make way. Tadanari Lee to make his grand entrance.
Well, that's just his second cap. The striker from Sanfrecce Hiroshima.
He had that golden chance at 1-1, game 1 against Jordan. And Japan had come back to win it 2-1. He stumbled over the ball on or about the penalty spot. Jordan survived. And Australia have the same fortune.
Endo's ball in, and Jedinak just takes it away from the on-rushing Japanese attacker, who was Daiki Iwamasa. Japan having a little spell here. That's a good ball into the box. Here's the substitute, Tadanari Lee. Slips it through for Uchida. And Jedinak there again.
Lucas Newell appealing for handball, I think, when the ball first went through. Maybe for holding the shirt. Definitely for the handball. I wouldn't have given that. It can't be intentional. Can't be deemed intentional, which it must. But again, underlining Australia's commitment to the cause. There were plenty of numbers there to cover.
Uchida. Quickly closed down by Mackay. Now, Australia just sleeping for a moment. And again, Jedinak is there. He's been everywhere tonight, in truth. This is Cahill, who's reappeared for extra time with a little more strapping to that left knee. Now Brett Emerton. Cahill. Valeri. Emerton. Tried to steer it into the path of Kuehl. Still no joy for Australia in terms of trying to get past Kawashima. 5 minutes to go, first period of extra time. Uchida. Endo almost sneaked it through Ognanovski, but not quite. Emerton. Caught on the blind side by Kono. Hasebe. Uchida. Well, no foul by Mackay. Australia can continue through Brett Emerton. Makes a beeline for Mackay on the left flank. Cahill and Kuehl wait for the delivery. Cahill leaps, but rather leaped into Eiji Kawashima, who's a little bit displeased.
Looked like he was trying to pull Tim Cahill's arm out by the socket there. Well, Timmy Cahill's left arm did hurt. There's no question about that. It is correctly adjudged foul. He's entitled to go for the ball there. However, goalkeepers do tend to get very precious. Good work from Matt Mackay to win the possession and then set the crossing situation up. Robbie Cruz is with the fourth official. Well, that had been Tim Cahill's last contribution.
We'll find out in a moment or two. Emerton. Jedinak. Mackay through the centre. Can he get it into the path of Kuehl? Here is Kuehl. Emerton! Another chance for Australia. He just tried to lift it over the top of Kawashima, but couldn't steer it into the back of the nets.
Well, it's to be Harry Kuehl's last contribution. It's the right option from Emerton. Within his rights, really, to have done better from there. The goal at his mercy. Kuehl battling away to form the chance. Brett Emerton knows as soon as it's left his boot that he's hit it wide. His teammates on the bench weren't privy to the same angle, of course. Now Robbie Cruz. Will the Cruz factor, the speed factor of Robbie Cruz, tip this one the way of Australia? He is, according to that which we've been provided, quite clearly the fastest man on the field. A tiring, sluggish defence for Japan could get sprung.
What a moment for the Melbourne Victory youngster. On for just his fourth cap. Of course, replaced the injured Josh Kennedy, who plays his football in Japan. Might be some irony there if Cruz was to come off the bench and score the winner. Mackay looking for Emerton. It breaks kindly for Blackburn Rovers man. Kuehl, or rather Cruz, and it's saved by Kawashima. Again, he's the hero for Japan. Just stuck out a big right paw, Eiji Kawashima, and Robbie Cruz. What an introduction that would have been.
Well, work to do now for Australia defensively.
Honda. Oh, just wide. Chances at both ends. in the space of a few seconds and neither taken.
Well, brilliant sweeping football, both teams. Matt Mackay setting up Australia's chance for Robbie Kruse, brilliantly saved. And Honda with the crowd pleaser. That's a delightful cross from Brett Emerton. Kruse having to stop his run. He makes great contact. It's a good header. And just even a fraction of a yard further to the right of Eiji Kawashima, and Australia would have been to the good, but it's great work from Japan's custodian.
Valeri wins the ball. Kruse wins a corner. And he almost won the hearts of every single Australian. This could be the final action of the first period of extra time. Still, we're deadlocked at 0-0. Boy, both sides have been close in the last couple of minutes. Here's the corner from Everton. Mackay drills it. Just over the top. It won't go in for either side.
Well, it's not their best chance, but it has to go down as another good one. Matt Mackay, if he only hit the one at the start of the match with such conviction. Extra time might have been needed, but he's emerged as the game has gone on. Mackay, it's been another very impressive game. And that's slow-mo, it's brilliant television.
And it shows you just how close it was. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first period. And here's Kruse. Good strength by the Melbourne Victory striker, but he can't release Carney. A break here for Valeri. Wilkshire. Looking for the angle for the cross. Emerton will provide it, but it's too deep.
Emerton kicked Robbie Kruse's starting position. Didn't anticipate the run of Kruse. Half-time, extra time. Nothing settled yet. The game just gets more and more fascinating.
Still, we await the breakthrough. Australia 0, Japan 0. Well, they might still be level on the score sheet, but we are heading towards the end game. 15 minutes left. And then the dreaded spot kick shootout. Now Nagatomo skips away from Wilkshire. Cannons back off the back of Lucas Neal, and Ognenovski head out to make the challenge. It was a good decision by big Sasha Ognenovski. Timed it to perfection. And this is Matt Mackay. Cahill. Mackay slips it through. Cahill, chance to shoot. Very quickly closed down though by Kono. Good defending.
And again, good short game from Australia. Matt Mackay in the middle of it. Tim Cahill perhaps just delayed a little bit too long. The shot is still hobbling around Tim Cahill. Left knee is causing some trouble.
That's a good one too. Honda's vision again. Releasing Okazaki, at least for the moment. Uchida arriving. Ognenovski in the way again. Hasebe. Keisuke Honda. Looking to just drop the shoulder, and he does. Gets rid of Valeri. Can't find the delivery, but he gets the corner kick.
And again, he didn't quite get rid of Carl Valeri, and that's been one of the keys to Australia's performance. He hung on like a drover's dog, did Carl Valeri, and David Carney comes to his assistance. Not even the great Keisuke Honda can beat the two Australian defenders. The corner will have to do for Japan.
Which Endo is about to deliver. Neal couldn't get there. Brett Emerton nods it back out towards Endo. Left-footed delivery this time. Schwarzer misses it. And it'll be a corner, although Australia are claiming the foul on the goalkeeper.
Oh, I don't think that's a fair play. And it is inside the 6-yard box, and often goalkeepers get the call there, but I think that's a fair play. Schwarzer came, he was strong. Yashido was strong. It was a strong contest. Now Australia with all the work to do defensively.
Australia going to make another change shortly. Meantime, here's Endo. That's rather more comfortable for Mark Schwarzer. Neil Kilkenny is going to be thrown on by Holger Osekandi.
Well, I can only assume it's going to be for Tim Cahill, but that will leave Australia a striker short. Unless one of the central midfielders has done enough for the day. They've both been fantastic. Internet, Valeri.
Cahill trying to control it, and again he's angry that the referee hasn't blown up for what he perceives to be a foul. But instead, Japan are on the counter through Nagatomo here on the left. Forced back by Neil.
Superb work, Lucas Neil.
Endo down the line for the dangerous Nagatomo again. He tries to get around Wiltshire and does. Is this the moment? It is! Japan have scored! It's the captain. Japan lead in the Asian Cup final with 4 minutes of added time playing in the second period of extra time, and it's the substitutes Tadanari Lee who has broken the deadlock finally. Heartache for Australia, joy for Japan. And it was Nagatomo with the killer delivery.
Well,
finally
he was always
got free.
Sorry, Simon, he was always going to be the danger man. That's a classy finish. And there are enough Australians there, but one need to pull off and make sure that Tadanari Lee was marked. He wasn't. He finishes with amazing aplomb. It's a beautiful finish on the back of a beautiful cross from Yuto Nagatomo, one of the players of Asia Cup 2011, and Australia with 11 minutes to turn things around, make that 10. Tim Cahill has made way for Neil Kilkenny. Brett Emerton has gone to join Robbie Cruz in the twin strike force.
Well, what have Australia got left? It's a devastating blow. They've had so many chances, the green and golds, but now they're up against it. Now, this team has character, we know that. But it's a hammer blow, Andy Harper.
No, it's just a beautiful finish. I mean, there was never a second where he thought, I'm going to take a second touch and pull myself. He backed his technique. It was unfailing technique. Schwarzer with no chance. The post-mortem for Australia will be, how did he get so free? They've been so diligent. And they've had their chances. And now they must work for at least one more.
Japan, inspired by that goal, are going for the killer. Second, and they've got a free kick.
Mackay is just losing his cool a little bit now. He's going to get a yellow card for that sarcastic outburst at the referee. Now's the time for cool heads, not hot heads. The tackle that needed to be made, Okazaki was away. There's nothing wrong with the decision of Matt Mackay. It's a clear foul. And Keisuke Honda will surely look to make it 2-0 Japan.
Well, they're in no hurry to take this. Why should they be? But two killer dead ball specialists standing over this free kick. If they score here, it's good night, Australia. It's Endo, and it's well claimed by Schwarzer. Australia still alive.
Well, if anyone needs reminding, South Korea equalised their semi-final with Japan in the 120th minute.
Only the second goal Australia have conceded at this tournament. And they've got to find one of their own at the other end, and quick, if they're to stay in contention. There's confirmation of the change by Holger Osik. Kilkenny on for Cahill. And what a beautiful finish it was by Tadanari Lee.
Delightful. And Schwarzer with no chance.
Well, you can see the despair in Mark Schwarzer's eyes. He knows he's going to get nowhere near that.
And the troops head forward for the green and gold. This free kick to be taken by David Carney. Right in front of the Australia supporters group, or the key bunch of them anyway. This is going to go right into the penalty area. A melee to result.
Carney's delivery, but it's too deep. Goal kick. More time ticks away. Japan edge closer to what would be a fourth Asian Cup. And the Kangaroos a little bit deflated at the moment. Surely some holding there by Yoshida on Ognenovski.
Who's staying forward for the remaining parts of this game.
Understandably so. Valeri. Tired-looking cross from Carl Valeri. They'll get a second go, though, Australia. Matt Mackay hangs it up. Emerton heads over the top. In fact, it came off a Japanese defender, so it's going to be a corner for Australia.
Well, how much pressure can Australia put on? How much physical pressure, how much aerial pressure can they put on with the time that's remaining? Every Japanese player is in the penalty area of Japan.
Wilkshire. Goalkeeper wasn't sure, but he clutches hold of it. The second attempt, he was being fouled too by Jedinak. Good header won by Ognenovski initially. Clear foul by Jedinak. He was lucky to escape a yellow card for that, in truth. Here's another look at the goal, and what a finish it was from Tadanari Lee. And that's what it means to the Japanese bench. Alberto Zaccaroni punches the air in delight. By contrast, heartache for Australia. But they're not yet out of this. 4 minutes to go. Kilkenny penalised.
The test for Japan is how well they can take the sting out of this game.
Endo trying to do just that. Prods it towards the corner.
Look to box Australia in now, deep in their own territory.
Neil half volleys it up towards Emerton. Here's Ognenovski, big physical presence. Now to squirt into the path of Robbie Cruz, very nearly. He allows the ball to go out because he knows Australia have a corner.
Sasha Ognenovski just bludgeoned his way through that challenge. Forced the opportunity that fell for Cruz, who decided, I'll take the corner here. And we'll hoof the ball into or around about the 6-yard box of Japan.
Can Wilkshire get the delivery right for Australia? Looks as though it's too close to the keeper. No foul though on Kawashima. Emerton returns it. Up goes Robbie Cruz. Here's Carl Valeri. Can't get a clean look at goal. Still Australia apply pressure. Wilkshire. Valeri. Oh, he was closed down there by Uchida.
He was tired too from Carl Valeri. He's run himself into the ground. Into intense physical contest from those corners. Kawashima down again. Going to require attention. Enormous number of bodies through which he has to get. And Australia came again, and Japan throwing their bodies at the shots, blocking everything. Of course, it'll be rifling through their memory, of course, the way they conceded their lead in the 120th minute of the semi-final.
Well, Holger Osik's sides have 2 minutes to save their Asian dreams. Otherwise, it will be Japan's name going on the trophy for the 4th time. Kilkenny spreads it wide. It's a good ball. Mackay for Emerton. Carney's there to help too. Here is David Carney. Trying to dig it out under heavy pressure. Mackay. Can they square it up for Kilkenny here? Carney on sides. Lobs it up. Valeri can't get there. Here's Luke Wilkshire. Desperate stuff here for Australia. Kilkenny with a shot. And he's pulled it wide. And might that be Australia's final opportunity?
Well, they're not going to die wondering, the Socceroos. I mean, they're squeezing up the field. They're trying to work for this opportunity. And Japan desperate as they need to be. It's a really outstanding scrambling. 118 minutes into a continental final, and Yuto Nagatomo is still sprinting from Australian to Australian, trying to pressurise the ball carrier, block the shot. Inspirational stuff from the Cesena man. You know how to come on. It's Uchida to come off for Japan, the final change. It's another central defender. Academic exercise, you'd imagine, but Alberto Zaccaroni is insisting on more aerial strength.
Well, also the chance to run down the clock by a few seconds as well. He's nearly there, Alberto Zaccaroni. About to lift a major trophy. He's only been in the job for 6 months. But they're within touching distance, the Blue Samurai. The 15 minutes are up now. 1 minute of added time. It's now or never for Australia. Kilkenny. Can they fashion one final chance, the green and gold? Wilkshire hangs it up looking for Ognanovski. Carl Valeri looks very tired. Australia have a throw-in. Wilkshire back to Valeri. Another throw-in for Australia. The sands of time almost up on their Asian dreams in the desert. Kilkenny. Wilkshire. Handball, free kick. Right on the edge of the box for Australia. Well.
Mackay appealing for a penalty. It wasn't a penalty, it's a definite handball. And this surely was Australia's last chance.
Now, who do you fancy from here, Andy? Sasha Ognanovski could blast it. David Carney could place it. Brett Emerton's a chance too.
Carney's looking to have the most nervous anticipation.
Can Australia save themselves with probably the final kick of this Asian Cup final?
Pretty narrow 10 yards.
This has to be the final chance for the Socceroos. David Carney straight into the wall. Still it's alive. Kilkenny drives it across. Carney's header. Still alive. Australia trying to poke it home. The final whistle goes. Japan are the champions of Asia. Fabulous score for the Blue Samurai. The undisputed kings of Asia move out on their own. And Australia's golden generation is denied silverware. It was not to be their finest hour. but it is Japan's. Australia 0, Japan 1 the scoreline after extra time. Tadanari Lee's goal wins the trophy for Japan. Well, I think the moment has finally arrived. Nearly 45 minutes after we stopped playing for Makoto Hasebe to make his way forward, the Japanese captain. He'll be presented with a trophy jointly by the Sheikh and the AFC president, Mohammed bin Hammam. And Japan will be crowned. Japan, the champions of Asia for the 4th time.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.